you everyone for joining us this evening for the Finance Committee Council meeting held on the 4th of August at 7 p.m. Can everyone hear me all right? No. Any better?
Yes.
Just before we start the meeting, I'd just like to take an opportunity to share some thoughts on the Council's finances. So obviously this is my first finance meeting as Chair of Finance. And obviously just as I start my tenure, I just want to share what I've thought so far. Now, the key headline here is that we're very likely to end this financial year with less reserves in the annual budget than the prediction. And I wanted to explain why to you really. So I'm not going to go into detail on any numbers. I haven't got those at the minute. Well, I've got the numbers, apologies Alan, but I'm waiting for a laptop, so I'm using my phone. So it's hard for me to go through the numbers. But what I'm going to tell you, it doesn't really matter what those numbers are. So as best practice, a council should hold 2 months of reserves in the account at any time. Historically, this has been higher. And that's preferred because it allows for any unexpected costs. And it does give a sound buffer should the unexpected happen. This council has been very keen previously to keep those reserves at substantial levels, and they've maintained this. And the projected reserves at the start of the financial year tend to hold close to what the end of the year results show. So what they predict tends to end up being where we end up at the end of the year. At the end of the financial year 21-22, the reserves were adequate, and they could then be set against what we predict the plan to be for 22-23. So the planning for the financial year typically happens in January and February, and it's made up of a few things. And I'll just explain really quickly how that works, and hopefully Alan can tell me if I've made any mistakes here. But what we look at first is your standard running costs, so everything that keeps the lights on, so your staffing costs, your electric, your water, and all that sort of thing. And then the council then get together, as we did, and said, what do we want to do for next year? So we already talked about, we want to do the seaside event, we want to do the buses again, we want to do all that sort of stuff. We put all that in, and that goes into the pot, and we look at, right, so what's left? And we didn't really bring up anything new at that point. We want to do what we normally do, and just carry on, because it's worked in the past. So at that point, we set what we call the reserves. And that's the prediction for what's going to be left in the account by the end of the year, should the expected happen. Now, post this exercise, it became apparent that the further costs, which in my opinion have been kicked down the road, so things that really should have been done in the previous financial year, or end up in this financial year, which as you can imagine then means that those costs then need to come out of the reserves. Most of these things are going to go to tender, so I'm not going to mention what the cost would look like because that would be unfair. But we are looking at a substantial amount. So this is things like resurfacing the paths, clearing the lakes. We had a report from the general manager who shared with us her concerns about things that needed fixing as well and have needed to be fixed for a while. And this hasn't come to us, and we haven't done that last financial year. There's a walking freezer, for example. And that's all been brought in for his motions in the last couple of months, so it falls into this financial year. So in short, should any of that work be approved, and some of it will need to be, then the actual reserves at the end of the year will be lower than projected. And I think it's pertinent that you guys as the public are aware of that. I'm calling this risk out now, so there are no surprises when we get to the end of the year, in March, that the reserves are lower than expected. To be clear, we've got those 2 years of reserves. In fact, we've got more than that. However, so we're still following best practice. However, it's not a position I want to be in. And I find that a very difficult position as Finance Chair to find out that we haven't planned for things that needed doing. We need to be really mindful when we're approving any extra spend that wasn't budgeted for. We need to look at some cost savings where appropriate. And we need to understand that we fully understand the benefits of any spend that we agreed to in these meetings. Myself and Maxine as chairs We'll be staying very close to this moving forward. We will keep you updated. Once I've got that laptop, I will share more details as I've got it. Thank you for listening.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so first item on the agenda then, apologies for absence. Alan? Cool. Declarations of interest. Councillors should disclose pecuniary and non-pecuniary interests for any item on this agenda. Okay, item 4, minutes. To receive and approve the minutes of the meeting held on... Oh, sorry, item 3. Oh, you weren't going to get any questions then. Item 3, I can't count today, it's been a long one. Public question time. I am going to keep this to 10 minutes, because we have only, we've got a couple of meetings going on today, but any questions? This is in relation... 10 minutes. Taken to the committee's remit. And I think you just got back into it.
Just a very quick question. I wondered if you'd any update on the grant and the supply of a container that was discussed for the bag ferries a few meetings back. If we'd got anywhere with that. I did actually mean to email Alan to ask him, but haven't had the chance. Right, brilliant. That's great. Thanks very much. Thank you.
Cathy Thornhill. Obviously, you just brought up some of the things that I wanted to raise as well. My question, I've already put some questions to Alan, which he's said that he will come back to me. He did say he would come back to me tonight, but he's then clarified he will come back to me in the morning. Due to what questions I've been asking by looking at the accounts, what I want to ask is, have we actually brought in a forensic auditor? And if so, when were they brought in, and who is it? Is it a proper forensic auditor firm? And can you divulge who it is, please?
It's a chartered accountants, King Accountants on Kirby Road.
But they're not forensic auditors.
The chartered accountants then.
A chartered accountant is not a forensic auditor. They actually have different qualifications, and I know this from personal experience. So the people that you've brought in aren't actually forensic auditors. That's what you're actually saying.
She's amply qualified. In your opinion?
Well, that's in your opinion. Grant Thornton are accountants, but they are not forensic auditors. There is a big difference. So you haven't actually brought in a forensic auditing firm. That's what you're saying.
Yes.
Right. So my next question is, on the website, you've only got the accounts up to March. Is there a reason why nothing else has been put on?
Look, we're just a bit behind the things at the moment.
Right. Because my email to you was highlighting that there wasn't things, there was things missing in the accounts. There were pages missing from the website, which a forensic auditor would have picked that up straight away.
My understanding is that forensic auditors will have access to the accounts, they're just not published on the website. Is that correct?
Oh, that's a shame. I could come in the office and cover it down to you.
And she has been working on it, and she has been asking more questions. It has been going on for a while, but it hasn't been completed yet. But the fact that she's still asking questions, I think, shows that she's still working on it.
Yes, she sent the initial list of the documents was literally tons that wouldn't have been processed.
Any more questions? Okay, thank you very much. Item 4, the minutes then. So we'll receive and approve minutes of the meeting held on the 23rd of June 2020. And the subcommittee on the 23rd of June and 21st of July. Item 6, payment of accounts June and July. Item 7, request for grant stroke support. To consider request from Friends of Fitzwilliam Station for a contribution to their programme of work for the station for 22-23. I just want to say, I know you guys are here, plastic tape's first time I've seen it, I've been on the train for work, and it looks amazing. It looks so good. If you've not been down, go and have a look. It really brightens my day, getting off the train and seeing that, so thank you.
They've done a brilliant job, yeah, that we have.
So a round of applause.
Yeah, is that okay?
Yeah.
Hey, my name's Gabriel. I live in Kingsley, and I'm a member of Friends of Fitzwilliam, and I'm supporting Morris here, who's our gaffer. And I just wanted to talk about the work that he's done. So, as well as, I wanted to especially point out the partnerships that he's made. So he's been getting onto Northern Rail and Network Rail and getting them to fund and to provide money for some of the picture frames that you're seeing around the station. And that's helping to lift Fitzwilliam really, and like you say, he's making an impact there on the station. And he's getting volunteers around him to do some really good work on the upkeep. So you'll see if you go over the bridge, there's that picture that's been there quite a while now. It's done really well. I mean, and the town council funded that, I believe. Is that right? Yeah, they put some money towards it, and you'll see that the edges get a bit torn away, and it's taped back up and it's maintained, and that's Morris. He's doing a fantastic job, really. And he's bringing in. I'm from Coactive as well. I work for Coactive, which is based in Wakefield, but like he's getting us involved and saying you're going to put some artwork up, and then we've put in our funding bid to print some stuff off the Fitzwilliam station. So then our funding bid then contributes to what's going on in Fitzwilliam. He's also linked in with Spectrum people who've got an allotment at Sandon Bridge station, just one stop along. So he's kind of pulling people into Fitzwilliam and making it less isolated and making all these brilliant connections. And then the schools, you see the schools work that's up, the brilliant pictures around that's to do with the Queen's Jubilee that are really stunning. I was really surprised by them. For Coactive members, Morris went to Westgate and met some Coactive members. There's Philip, who's got a learning disability, and he brought him over and showed him his work, took his photographs, publicised it, and that helps Philip to feel good, and it connects him with Fitzwilliam. We've got all sorts of dreams about Fitzwilliam. It's brilliant. It's a brilliant place. I've not lived here very long. I've lived in Wakefield District for a long time, but I've come into this part of the district recently. The park that's there. The Pit Club's got a really great big venue at the back of it, and you've got the different community centres. So there's a lot to be done in Fitzwilliam, really. So our next steps is to increase the number of frames we have, and to keep the artwork, keep changing it, keeping it fresh, and reach out to more people, to more schools. You just made contact with high school, didn't you? To get people involved and to contribute into the work there, and just build more energy and momentum in Fitzwilliam. So any contribution you can make to make this work increase would be really appreciated.
Brilliant, yeah. Good thing they did. Yeah. A couple of years ago, perhaps, not last year, was it?
I'd like to close it about 250 then.
250? 250? Would that be alright for you? You sure?
All in favour?
That'd be nice.
That's brilliant, 250 for a week.
Thank you very much.
Can I just give them a word for them? If on about pictures, well, a few years ago the youth club then did a lot of pictures and put them all on the station, and as they're going on the station, Fitzwilliam Youth Club. Now there is one, Fitzwilliam, and one at Hensworth, and if we can get talking to Paul Press into it, Maxine knows more about them, they'll talk to the youth club, and see if the children can get involved doing some pictures, and it'll learn them then to keep it clean and tidy when they're going through it. Pardon?
It's their artwork and the
Yes, that's what they did before and with youth club, and it does help.
It's a really good idea. Oh, you can do that on the details. Thank you very much.
Well
them to get them to contact us, we can offer them a
Yeah, well,
contact.
Paul-
I will just put you in touch with each other.
Yeah, we'll get sorted for you, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, item number 9 then. This is the outdoor cinema.
8.
I can't count today. Honestly, I've been out all day and it's been really busy. So, after work, yeah. I'm on Christmas for now, look. Number 8, so that's entertainment acts, the Lakeside Cafe Bar. Consider having entertainment acts at Lakeside Cafe Bar. Which is one of yours, Councillor?
This is one I put in, obviously, there's been a few people. I thought it was something that we lead on really with the hands at the start of the day, this stage. So I was going to put acts on every fortnight again in the late time during the summer months.
Yeah, like we used to before.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got some good ones, huh?
Fortnight, month.
My concern with this one is very weather dependent, isn't it?
Yeah, that's why it's only for a limited period. It's something we should have started
Does it,
a few weeks ago.
I mean, I'm not sure, but does it bring in, I'm just conscious of the money that we're spending on the lot. Are we bringing any money into that? Are we bringing more people to the park because those
It did
acts are on?
before.
It has them, and they're not the only weather park that we don't have 11. And then what's the average price of acts? 250 once a month.
Bearing in mind we're in August already, could we potentially put one on and see how it goes? And if it is a success, we can look at it.
Yeah, well, it's, you can make some
Let's
shelter.
not commit to more than that just yet, let's see how it goes.
We've got the marquee. Why isn't the marquee being put up then, if it's weather dependent?
Yeah. You can make it weatherproof. We've done it before. We've had,
It's more people going to the park, park's not.
no, but still it's always got full.
Let's try it, let's try one.
Depending on who you have, it always got full and there were,
Sorry, Councillor.
no, sorry.
It was repaired.
What I saw, and turns on, yeah, they are good, but they're not really well attended. I'd rather not. I speak loud anyway, and I sound like I'm shouting on that. And you're right about it's weather dependent, even with a marquee or not. I don't think it was that popular. In the summer, like you said, we get the trade anyway, because everybody's down and they all go in the cafe bar and have a drink outside. So, bearing in mind what you just said about finances, and I appreciate that, I just don't think one every 2 weeks is going to be viable. And
I think we agree on that, I think if we get one. If I put the motion forward, if you're right with that one. We put,
Yeah, it closes too early though, doesn't it? That's what, you know, should be up by 9 o'clock, shouldn't it really?
have you, afternoon turns, aren't they?
Why have a bar though, just for daytime? Why not use it at night and have turns on and do it that way?
Again, we need to look into it, but at the minute, I don't think we should be committed to putting turns on that we don't know when to bring in money, so I think if we try one on the afternoon, bank holiday afternoon, tonight, people go out, try it just once for bank holiday, see how we get on, and we'll reset for that.
it's a staffing issue as well. Yeah, in the summer, it's all on sick company summer because it's busy. So to ask the staff to stop on 9 o'clock, the trains usually stop at 6 o'clock, 6:30, something like that.
Shift work. Can't they do shift work?
And the notion we put it forward is for an afternoon anyway, so we can try that.
Quite a few seasons, about half a dozen. But one of the other issues is that the licensing condition is, I'm going from memory now, but certainly on a weekend and bank holidays from 8 o'clock, you have to have more SIA officers, more bouncers. And obviously you have to get contractors for that, and contractors won't send one, they'll send two to go. And they are not cheap.
Well, we're about 6 security on today. Well, there were more staff, there were more security than staff.
That was for an event though for carers,
Yeah,
wasn't
but
it?
you need more staff for that, serving that beer and that, and queuing for beer. Right
Hello?
outside.
Hello, can people use microphones please so people at the back can hear, because there's a lot of talking going on and people can't hear. put microphone to your mouth and people can hear,
Thank you.
please.
Hopefully you can hear me, I've not moved it. Right, so I put forward then we can try one afternoon, we'll do that bank holiday, see how it goes. Monday or Sunday. I personally think the Sunday would be better, because people tend to go out on Sunday. Let's go for Sunday. Right, yeah, let's vote on it, see how it goes. So we'll total for holiday. To be honest, by the time we get to September, it's going to rain again anyway.
Don't know.
Sorry, Anne.
No, when we had the entertainments on before, we went through different weathers and everything, but they were always good, they were outside, there were plenty of people went in to watch them, there were plenty of places for them to sit and everything, there were never any problems, you know, and they really enjoyed it, and they weren't that expensive, the turns anyway, and it's, in fact, a couple of them didn't even charge, you know, to come there. But it went well, and people were asking them all the time. They were asking for more entertainment outside. There were room inside if it was really bad weather. They could have gone inside as well. I don't know what it's.
On the bank holiday. If
Yeah.
it goes really well, we'll try it again, as
Yeah.
House Record says, we'll try it on a non-bank holiday. But I don't think we need to be committing to any more than that at the moment. So I put a motion forward.
What's the time, sorry, what's the time so we're getting right? What terms is it afternoon? What time does it end?
I would
And
really
it's
start
Three,
with
start at three.
Carver's on as well. Is it going to start after Carver?
what time does that finish?
3 hours past.
Sounds sensible. Okay, all in favour?
Yeah. It needs trying though, it really does need get them off. Get some entertainment for the public.
Item 9, outdoor cinema, Hems Quarter Park. This is to consider a request from Quick Line Communications to hold an outdoor free cinema for 2 nights in Hems Quarter Park.
Yeah, as the chair said, this is a firm called Quick Line Communications. They're a rural broadband firm. They want to run an event to showcase their technology, and the event they propose to the council, to the committee, would be a cinema night in the park, outside obviously, and they would provide literally everything. I got the list here: inflatable screen, projector, PA system, projectionist, technician, set up and pat down on the day of the event, a silent generator, I've been about that before, but anyway, risk assessments, third party liability, temporary event notices, blah blah blah, literally everything. Even face painters and still walkers, top it off as well. They would do literally everything, Madam Chair, so I recommend approval of this committee.
It sounds brilliant to me, yeah. Are we all in favour?
Yeah, definitely.
Can I leave that? Can I just wait time down with you? But we haven't got, we need to approve it, and then
Would you just it's on a night time, if there's any entertainment on, you need more security on?
it's not,
That's
no,
right,
right.
security.
That's the patio licensing, it's not at the bar, it's in the park.
All right.
So we're not opening the bar for it, so they'll, we'll probably sell pop and grist, probably make it off that, popcorn, that sort of stuff. But it sounds brilliant, and what a great opportunity for local people.
Oh, I stand corrected. Thank you.
What about car parking, is that sorted?
Car parking will be just as comes as. We'll need to work it through, so we need to work out how much room they need, and then.
Yeah, but has the car park been sorted, because it was in a bad state, weren't it?
Oh, sorry, it's a different question. Has the car park been started?
In the water park?
The water park, yeah, that's
No,
it.
I'm going to wait for the event afternoon.
So that,
Well, there's certainly holding them one
yeah, we'll wait for it to come back to us on that one.
What emergency that?
It was. Emergency, weren't it?
It's we wait for yours, we wait for
Yeah,
yours.
well that's it, the Wakefield.
And that's it, I'll close the meeting there.
Can I just, because you've mentioned about the finance, isn't it something that you should consider regarding the bonfire night and making a charge? You can have it so that people that are from Hemsworth, Fitzwilliam and Kingsley all have a pass that gets them in free, but anybody from outside of the area makes a contribution of, say, £2 or whatever. That will bring you in some revenue.
So I think that needs to be a motion on a council meeting, but if any other councillors want to put that forward, we can look at it.
That's a good idea, yeah.
Right, I'll close the meeting there.